from the east,
right,
coming through South America to getting, to in mid-2000s. I believe it was established in 2007. And it's something that he's looking to put back in place. Halting the wall, the construction of the wall.
What are white people doing? They're going down to Mexico and stripping every damn thing out of it. That's why I said this is called a strong ass crouching between two burdens. Mexico is one burden, America's the other. And he's crouching down between it, trying to get through that damn wall. They're trying to get past that damn wall to get to America. And they literally even crouching down too, because the oppression is so hard on Issachar that it even affects their height and posture physically. You know what I'm saying? Physically, they come, to this country looking like some type of offbeat Asian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some type of off-brand Asian or something, They so oppressed, and crouched over and crouched down, from always having to bend from picking tomatoes and all the other agricultural work that they're doing down there. Let's go into the scriptures. Let's see, we can start at... Let's start at Exodus chapter 1 and verse 6.
Okay. Exodus chapter 1 verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
Now, why is Joseph's death? Why is Joseph's life so important at this point? Him living.
Because he came in to the land of Egypt right before the time of a famine in their region where his family was too.
You talking about Joseph?
Right.
Yeah.
And he had that. He interpreted the dream of foreign land, looking for them crumbs, looking for that EBT card, looking for a little Section 8.
Right.
And Joseph, being having the stature that he was in Egypt, in that kingdom under Pharaoh, was able to usher them in, and his people was able to flourish.
Right.
In the Great Depression.
And what else was Joseph able to do? He was able to sever out a land of plenteousness, because by nature we are a shepherd people. That's why they called us the shepherd kings. That was our occupation. That's why the Lord told us, hate not husbandry. The Most High is a husbandman. That's it. That's the Most High's favorite occupation is farming. You know what I'm saying? All right, and that's why we had that land that had the land of Goshen. But another thing that makes the life of Joseph so significant is the fact that Joseph was one of the last of the original patriarchs to die.
Right.
If I'm not. And the next generation comes in, to lead more like the Egyptians. That's been our problem. Now, that's been one of our problems. Now, what's going on with us now? We're still, without this proper leadership, we're doing the same thing. We got to have father figures over us and be like, nah, you ain't gonna do that.
That's right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. They got to come hard.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if they come to Joseph, let's go down to Egypt for a little bit, so we can, and finding excuses to go down to Egypt. Joseph would have checked them quick, and they would have been in line. You know what I'm saying? That's a father. The father see the wickedness of what could happen. This is part of protection right here. People saying, oh, we need to protect, black women. We protect that black woman in a sense just like we do that child. You know what I'm saying? Because just how a child could come with a wild idea, and you see what will happen behind that wild idea that you come with, and you like, no, you're not going to do that. That's protection right there. You know, and you have to do the same thing with her because she has to be positioned, bro. Just like, say, for instance, with the Arab woman, ain't nobody of no other race coming down and seducing no Arab woman. You know, when was the last time anybody seen that? You don't see it. They don't even get the chance to because that woman is positioned properly. You know what I'm saying? She's with her men. You know, she understands her role. She understands what she is doing.
It's like, so if I may too, with them and their culture, like again, nobody questions them.
Right. They sure don't. But they tried a little bit with
their culture.
Right. Yeah, because they will say, oh yeah, they make their body gotta run around with a mask. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't ask a question.
I thought you said okay. Yeah, but Joseph was might have been the last strong leader that we had. And we are people that got to have strong leadership. We have to have fathers over us. Right. It just is what it is. We've always been that kind of people. I mean, what happened as soon as Moses went up on the mountain?
As far as the promised land?
Right. We're in the wilderness. When Moses went up on the mountain, first thing that we did, we made an idol. You know what I'm saying? Talk a man of God into making us one. On top of that, the priest. Yeah. Talk the priest into making an idol for us. that's some crazy stuff right there. But like I was saying, Joseph was hardcore. Joseph. Oh, go ahead.
I found your bag right away.
Oh, it found it.
It was on the second floor.
It was on the second floor by the coffee.
Oh wow, really?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's finish out verse 6.
Count. Exodus chapter 1 verse 6. And Joseph died and all his brethren in all that generation.
All that whole generation. Now we in trouble. You see this? Now we in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Now we in trouble. Because all the strong leadership, because they were old at this time.
Right.
And they didn't have, it was nobody to even retain the strength that they had. This is a sad situation, and just think about this, because these were prophets. Now, and they have foresight, real strong foresight. That's another, gift of prophecy is having that strong foresight, and they knew. Now, just imagine how grieved they were up on their beds telling their sons what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? In this near future.
Right.
They were starting to know, dang, these niggas is going to be slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't dare. The Egyptians wouldn't dare trouble us while these dudes were alive. They wouldn't dare. The patriarchs kicked much ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Real talk. These dudes just did not play. You know what I'm saying? When Jacob died, you know what I'm saying? Of course his sons are still around and they held it down. You know what I'm saying? But now they, is going in the way of all men. They have to hit the grave. Okay, let's go.
Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly.
We start multiplying, having all kind of children and everything. Go ahead.
Where are we at?
In verse 7, Exodus 1 and 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
It was somebody that said online one time, how could we come in with 70-something people and then multiply to be thousands upon thousands in 400 years. It's sad that he would ask that question.
Yeah.
It's real sad. This goes to show you how much of an impact that abortion and all of that stuff, and the way that, we think that this is impossible. You know what I'm saying? We think that this is impossible. We look at this and how we came down with 70 people. Joseph was 70, including Joseph was 71. He was in Egypt already. How that could turn into thousands upon thousands in a 400-year period. Just think of, if it wasn't for abortion and all of that stuff, imagine how many of us would be here today.
Right.
We multiply fast.
Right.
I mean, just think about it. You live in a time where you could have, one dude could have 10 ribs. Imagine he got 3 or 4 by each of them. And then they grow up. You know what I'm saying? And before long, within 100 years of time, the land is going to be full of it. He couldn't wrap his mind around that.
Right.
Because of all the evil things that is done against us here. And the Democrats is certainly pro-abortion.
Mm-hmm.
So are the Republicans too. But the Democrats are more outward with it. They're more outward and they're more seductive with it because they call it health care.
Right.
They can call the murder of your child health care. Mm-hmm. Democrats and Republicans are just two beasts with different ways of assaulting. But when it all boils down to it, they're together. Donald Trump might be angry at Biden and all of them, but at the same time, though, when devils are against each other, they all realize at the end of the day they have a common enemy. And that common enemy is us.
Right.
We're the common enemy. You got 2 lions fighting, and the gazelle goes past. The 2 lions will stop fighting to get that gazelle, to take it down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 2 lions that can't stand each other will attack one of them big buffaloes. You know what I'm saying? And work as a team to bring it down. And feast off of it, you know what I'm saying? And they'll pick up their little rivalry later on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See, that's how they think. But here's the funny thing about it. Our people think differently. We'll be the 2 lions fighting against each other and let the gazelle and everything go right on past. We'll let the hyenas come and attack the cubs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Attack the female lions while we sit there steadily duking it out.
Right.
We let the enemy just come in and just take every damn thing. Another thing too is we got to learn when to step back. With all of this stuff that's going on now, with all the Biden and Trump and all of this stuff, because that's what they.
Right.
The only people they say that to. They only say it to us. We the only people. Why don't they go and get those East Indians and all of them people that they allowed to get rich, and go and start telling them, hey, it's time that y'all start voting. It's time that y'all start, getting involved. Why don't they do that? You know what I'm saying?
And they don't even care about the voting system.
Right.
Like, they don't care at all.
Right. They don't even know. They don't even know how it even works.
It don't bother them.
Right.
A little bit because it don't affect them.
Right. Right. It sure don't. They still gonna have a damn Korean nail salon regardless of who is in office, regardless of whether it's Republican or Democrat.
7-Elevens and Subways.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah. But blacks and Hispanics, we want to get involved because we think if a certain person gets elected, then it's going to threaten what it is that we think we got.
Right.
He's going to get health care. Oh no, I can't vote for. I'm vote for the other one. You know, he's planning on taking away my Social Security. So I'm gonna vote for the Republicans. We get sucked into that when nothing that they have is even in peril or threatened. You know, hell, what'll start to fix that problem? You start to put some pressure on all of them heathens that just been skating by. Right. And now we can have finance for everything, for the health care and everything that we need. Eventually we won't need Social Security. Run all the damn heathens, you know what I'm saying? You put pressure up on them and they start doing what the scriptures say. Everybody return to his own people, them going back to their own country. Look how much, you know, wealth and everything they can be coming to us. Right? As we stand back and let Cain destroy Cain. You know what I'm saying? They also talking too that this brink of a civil war should be in 5 to 10 years. Well, I see it might be coming a little closer than that. By the way things is going now.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it might be coming just a little closer than that, you know. And people want to believe that we got so much time and everything, 5 to 10 years, and they, oh well, it'll happen, you know, down the line. The way things is bubbling up now, it seems like it might be just a little closer than that, you know. And a civil war is certainly not far off. There's already been one, you know, and it might have been more than that. It was just one civil war, right? That's the only one that they count,
right?
You know, but it's still damn sure happened, you know. And the thing about it, if we want to take, you know, some notes and everything on what we should do during the time of this Civil War, we look at where we messed up in that one. We got involved. In the South, Negroes got involved thinking that that slavery, we fighting against slavery. And that sucked in a whole lot of black men to get inside the war. But what a lot of people don't understand is once the North got what they want, they neglected the blacks. Now you're gonna free somebody. You talking about you fighting to free the slaves? How the hell you gonna free them and not take them with you? Right? You gotta rescue them from the things that you're freeing them from instead of leaving them with the thing. You know, that'd be like you trapped in a damn lion's cage. I say I'm about to free you. I go into the damn lion's cage, smack up the lion, you know what I'm saying? Do some evil to the lion, and then go leave out and shut the cage and tell you you're free. What's that lion gonna do to you?
Man.
Go ahead.
That's a lot, man. And it frees you.
Right.
If you don't get yourself out of there, now you're in self-induced affliction, self-induced poverty.
Right.
The reason since we can't get under that claw, now it's self-induced. It's self-induced.
Right. Oh, I told you was free.
Right.
The lion that are ripping you to bits. He got your arm in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Your body laying over somewhere on the other side of the damn cage. They stand outside the cage talking. I told you was free. I mean, why ain't you leaving? You know. You see what type of evil. And then here's the funny thing about it. Now, to add to even throw salt on the wound. They took black men and made them, the North did this, made them police officers in the South, right? But you didn't have no gun.
Yeah.
The same thing with Atlanta.
In Atlanta, they did that in Atlanta too?
Atlanta and the Carolinas. That's why I gave you that book.
Ain't that something? Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna read this. Oh, good.
In Chicago too, there was something right before. I think it was after the civil rights thing, right before a big boom of the gang violence. I forget what the brother had called it, but they had set black youth as patrol officers in the black communities. They didn't give them guns at first, but you know, gave them certain authority to
enforce certain things.
Right, and make certain arrests and things like that. And then they started, and like after tensions built up, then they started giving them guns so that they could combat the crime, the criminal element.
Right.
And then they took away their authority, left them with the guns, but then they stopped backing them as a police force. They took away their authority. Mm-hmm. So now, these brothers who built up an ill reputation with those gang members or those criminals for locking them up for working with the police and shit like that, who were backed by the police, are no longer being sponsored by the cops, but they still got them guns. And then they just step back, and I mean, like, this is where like your Vice Lords and GDs and BDs and Black Stones and all that shit like kind of came out of those generations.
Wow.
Like it was sickening.
That that goes along with the scripture: never trust thine enemy.
Ecclesiasticus 12:10.
Right. That's as a matter of fact, let's go to that scripture right quick.
Yeah, it's going to be in the Apocrypha.
Because
Ecclesiasticus 12:10.
We're supposed to never trust him, and every damn thing that he does, we're supposed to look at him with a suspect eye, regardless of what it is. I don't care what it is, especially us black men,
right?
Because black women, they as the scriptures say, a weaker vessel, they gonna always. That's why we have to rule our houses, and we ain't even got to explain to our wives why we ain't gonna do this and why we ain't gonna do that. That's one thing that we gotta stop doing too, because we keep trying to make it make sense to her. You know what I'm saying? When her argument is not based on making sense. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Yes, as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. There's what they talk about looking glass. When you wipe the looking glass and you see that the film is still there.
I want to say that's probably Matthew.
Right.
It's probably Matthew as far as Christ saying.
He said he make clean the outside of the cup. There's another one. It's another one though.
That's Matthew, right?
Right, but it's another one though. I think it might be in this.
Yeah, it might be.
I think it is. Go ahead, Mom.
I'm gonna check for you.
Okay. It is.
Okay.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 11.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Though he humble himself and go crouching.
Who does that? They go through creeping through New York and all of that in the business sections, and then all these to make people feel sorry for them as if they are the people of the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Making an outward display when they the ones that own every goddamn thing. But still try to play it like they're the persecuted and the suffering and all of that. And if there's the funny thing about it, the trick works.
Right.
Go ahead and read that part again.
Okay. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Now, who did this? There was a prophet that actually took the wisdom in this scripture and, of course, applied it and used it. And then the person that he used it on came just like what's talked about right here. And if anybody can argue with me whether it's the Jewish man or not, the person that he did this with was Agag. Remember, Agag came crouching to him humbly, and what did he say? Oh, surely the sting of death is past. What do they tell us? Slavery is in the past. Who says that?
Right.
Slavery is in the past.
Right.
Look at what happened to us in the Holocaust.
Right.
That's recent. This happened recently. What happened to y'all happened hundreds of years ago. And then what did he say? He said the sting of death has passed. Samuel saw straight through that. Read that part again. Matter of fact, I want to pull that scripture though. That was a real kick-ass moment. Let me find it.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Right. You got to know that even though he's humbled at that time, even though he's humbled right at that time, he's humbled because, a lot of times because something was a stronger force. And that's what's keeping him from doing what he's doing. Just like in the situation with Samuel. Samuel, of course, had the upper hand. You know what I'm saying? Just kicking their behinds, right? Killing, slaughtering them up through their cities and all of that. Samuel had the upper hand. Well, actually, it was King Saul but of course, King Saul messed up and this and that. But Samuel was, he was the hardcore one, for real. And what did he do? Let's find it. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15 and verse 33.
Okay.
The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Regardless, and he comes in many forms. He's not your friend, regardless of what form he comes in. He's not your friend either way it goes, and he has many faces. You know what I'm saying? He has many faces. He's a shapeshifter. Mm-hmm. He come looking like Bob Marley. Go ahead.
Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 33. That's where you want to start?
Right.
All right, okay. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath...
Oh, take it up. Take it up a couple of verses.
31?
Yeah, you can try the 31.
So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Most High. Then said Samuel, bring you hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites.
Right.
And Agag came unto him delicately.
Whoa, how did he come to him?
Delicately.
And what did that scripture in the Apocrypha say how the enemy will come to you?
Go crouching.
Second one, Psalms 55, 20-21. Word smooth like butter.
Right. Yeah, that one too. Yeah, that's a good one right there too. Yeah. And the one that's in the Apocrypha, when he comes to thee humbly, that one we just got to read.
Is that Ecclesiasticus?
Yes.
Right.
Also, there's another one, Ecclesiasticus, when it talks about just give me a moment.
Though he humble himself and go crouching.
Right.
Also to he's not satisfied with blood.
Not that right. Exactly.
So,
And the thing about it, when he know his people is getting ready to get slaughtered, all of a sudden he's talking all gently. Well, surely the sting of death is past. Mm-hmm. Talking about it's over. Mm-hmm. How do they do?
I'm paraphrasing. You're always ready to dig up a pit for you as well.
Right. Yeah.
That's also in the book of Ecclesiastes. It might be the same scripture, by the way. Go ahead.
If I may, it is a couple scriptures ahead. Ecclesiastes 12, starting at, if I can add this one in, since it's, I believe it's on topic, starting at verse 15. Mm-hmm. And this is something that they did with us in the civil rights movement. I know they did it in Milwaukee also, when they were looking. They had this white Catholic preacher bringing the brothers from the north side to the south side for better jobs and housing opportunities. And then once they crossed that bridge, there was a time when you did not cross any bridges. If you were from one neighborhood in Milwaukee, you could not go to another neighborhood in Milwaukee. But once they crossed those lines, that white dude left. And this is a prime example of it. For a while he will abide with thee. But if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry.
Oh, right. He's not going to help you out. You begin to fall. He's there to use you for whatever it is that he's there to use you for. You begin to fall, he disappeared.
And if I may follow it up with 16, what Otto was talking about, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips,
did.
But in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
Right. He's always thinking about it. He's thinking about how to,
opportunities.
Right.
Find opportunity.
Right, exactly. One of the ways that they do it is they do the same thing that they did on the Gadites.
Right.
This is what they used to do to the Gadites. The Gadites would be warned against one another. The devil, of course, would be in the background, taking all of this in. You know what I'm saying? Taking notes and all of that. Now, the Gadite leader that is kind of like the losing or whatever, because you had one leader going against another because he believes that he should be the leader and such, and this a lot of the times that thought was put in the head by the devils. He'll be like, you should be the leader of the tribe. Mm-hmm. You should be the tribal leader instead of him, because they done already came at him. And they see that he doesn't trust them and doesn't like them, and he's only tolerating them for the time being. Yeah. And they know this. They like, so now what they'll do is go to the second in command. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who the people already look at as a leader also. And then they'll start to try to back him. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that they did with Castro and Batista. Mm-hmm. They were backing both of them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know Castro was going to flip on them like that. But they were backing both of them, and they was trying to back the most whoever they thought was going to win. So now, if you have a second in command, he's warned against the first in command. Now he's starting to get the upper hand. They're backing him more because he's somebody that they can control. And say if he win, now they running the tribe. They're like the shadow government that's running the tribe for real through the new leader. Oh, yeah. And they always do this stuff. They do the same stuff over and over again. Yeah. They do this. They have the same. Go ahead.
They use the same tactics all the time.
Yeah, all the time. So, you gotta know their tactics. Just like the Jewish people have always been looked at as conspirators. Mm-hmm. Always. That's why and they were found out. They did it all throughout Europe. They would get inside a political party or whatever, and they would have some money. They would get money from Khazaria, the Khazarian kings and all of that. They would be financed. And what they would do is they would back a certain person that's, in the politics or whatever. And they would lend money, them money and stuff like that. So now they owe them. So now, if dude can't really pay it back, he pushes for him to get a political seat. And once he gets that political seat, he starts to go to get another one inside there. So now it's 2 of them. And the 2 turn into 4. And the 4 turn into 8. Next thing you know, your cabinet's full of them. And they were seeing them do this in certain countries, Spain, Portugal, and all of these places, and they were running them up out of there and getting everybody up out of there. That's what Haman was doing. Haman was doing the same thing. That's why he had all of his peoples there. That's why, remember, he had his wife Zeresh and his friends and his sons and all of that. That's why he had them in there to do that same thing. Go ahead.
As far as Esther, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up around February anyway. So
right.
Actually, my thing is I'm trying to vouch to make sure that me teach that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Purim is definitely an amazing story.
Oh yeah.
And then also going into the letter of Esther as well.
Right.
Apocrypha.
Okay. Let's do that.
It goes more in depth.
Right.
Yeah. But Haman was definitely a bastard.
Yeah. And Haman was definitely Jewish.
And praise the Lord that he got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He was doing the same. They've been doing this stuff for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And they certainly ain't new to this.
Absolutely.
That's why they ran them up out of it. They called the Rothschilds, the patriarchs of the Rothschild family, they called them the Demon Brothers.
Never heard that.
They were playing other white people like that, you know. And during the time they were using the war with Napoleon, the war that Napoleon was having against the British, and using that as a diversion for what they were going to do. And then Napoleon was partially on their side because Napoleon gave them money to flip for him while he was in war.
Yeah.
So they had Napoleon support in that also. And they lied and said Napoleon won the war against the British, and everybody started selling their British stocks for pennies on the dollar. And they had their men come hours later and buy up all of those stocks for pennies on the dollar. So now they controlled all the damn stocks there. And people were enraged, and they came through the city with torches like they was trying to burn witches to run them up out of there, real tough.
That was recent, though.
Right, that was back in the 1700s.
Yeah. When I say recent, I mean that.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Yeah, that was recent.
And what did they do in the scriptures? What they did was they used war as a diversion because we were fighting against the Philistines at that time. Israel against the Philistines. Yeah. You know, what they did was, because King Saul at that time was also warring against the Philistines too. What they did was they went to the Amalekites went into the land and robbed the cities of Judah and the cities of the Philistines. We took all the women and children hostage. So imagine, they said they had immense wealth after that. That's why King David came in and slew them to the twilight. Him and them four. There was only 400. They had like 600 at first, but it's a long time to be killing. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you see the tactic. You see how they always use war as a time to steal. They do it now. They do the same thing now. That's why they cause these wars. They want war going on because that's how they, you know, even in one of the old books, they said that they were a warlike people.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they're not fighting directly. They're trying to make it to where people are fighting each other while they sit back and watch them destroy each other. And they come in to steal, to spoil the land. You know what I'm saying? To get rich. Let's go back to the scripture with Agag.
Come. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 32. Then said Samuel, bring you hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately.
He came delicately.
And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Surely slavery is over. Surely what happened, you know, back then is certainly over.
Right.
You know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Most High in Gilgal.
Chopped him in pieces. That's hardcore right there. Right. Imagine what that scene looked like. He took him and chopped him in pieces. That's a real prophet of the Lord right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, imagine if they put that in the movies. Imagine how confused the Christians would be.
Yeah, right.
You know what? The Christian be confused as I don't know what.
Not my Samuel.
Yeah, yes, that's it. Not my Samuel. No, would never do that. Right. What other scriptures? We have another.
So we still had Exodus.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So like actually right before that we were still in Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah. Let's get that.
So just recap from Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Yeah, that's what they do. And majority of our people still.
Second, we finish reading this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, come. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
All right, he would not be satisfied with blood. Means he wants more and more and more bloodshed. That's why I say, what was Esau's blessing? That it will come by the sword.
Right.
And you let Esau do what he wants to do, he will kill and kill and kill and kill and kill till there's nothing left. That's what they like more out of life than anything, is killing. And making things suffer. They are the physical representatives of Satan on the earth.
Right. And if I may, 17 and 18 definitely go with this also, I believe. Verse 17, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first.
Whoa, wait a minute, what did it say again?
If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first.
During the time of the civil rights movement.
Thou shalt find him there first.
Yes, because if you think about it, didn't they join on with everybody that was in the civil rights movement? And wasn't there calamity going on? But in the time when things were bad and they was hitting niggas with them water hoses, you look at the footage and you don't see none of them out there. They stirred up the pot and stirred our enemies, the other enemies against us. And then when the trouble came, they backed up and let us catch all the bullets, the dogs, the billy clubs, the fire hoses, and people try and act like all of these different. Go ahead.
No, whenever you get done.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and though he pretend to help thee,
right,
yet shall he undermine thee.
Yes, though he pretend to help us. What were they doing all during that time? Pretending to help us, trying to act like they suffered alongside us, like there's some type of common ground between us and them because of what happened to them in the Holocaust and what happened to us in slavery, so we should unite and be as brothers and all of that. While they are orchestrating the puppet masters of the damn destruction.
Right.
They're the puppet masters of it.
And then just to follow that, I guess cap that off with verse 18, if I may. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance.
And change his countenance as it was nice at first to her, And then now his countenance is full of pride, looking at you now like, yeah, got you now. Go ahead.
And if I may, all right, so they'll sit there and try to scold, other people for the actions that they doing, shaking their heads, telling them how wrong they are, Black Lives Matter, all that garbage, and clap their hands, make a big show of it,
right?
But then the whole time they off whispering, and somebody else they having a little private conversations. And when it's all said and done, again, they countenance changed up on them.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then see, what black people don't understand is when white people are in a room by themselves, they don't talk the same way as they talk, when they're with you. They don't talk the same way. They'll talk about Black Lives Matter and all of that dumb stuff while they're with you. But when they're alone, they're not talking about no damn Black Lives Mattering.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're thinking of a way to use Black Lives Matter to benefit themselves and to destroy you at the same time. And to keep you asleep and docile. And they thinking about which one of their leaders, of your leaders, they should pay off. Who they can control. How many of your leaders they can control. whatever, purpose that they have, and have him as the, the leader over you, whom has to answer to them and report things to them. All right. Let's pull this scripture right here, 2 Samuel 1 and 13. We might have to take it up a few verses.
Samuel 1, 2 Samuel 1 and 13. Or it's like you want to start up.
Yeah, we start a few verses up.
Give a shot at 10.
Okay.
So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen.
Well, take it up a little bit before that one. I guess we want to go to about 8.
8, come. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him.
Now, this right here is an Amalekite dude talking. Go ahead.
I am an Amalekite. Verse 9. He said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me and slay me. For anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me.
Now, look at this. This is what he's saying about what King Saul is saying. Right? Go ahead.
So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and have brought them hither unto my Lord.
Look at the total disrespect,
Right.
for the king. The king of the Israelites that he was doing. He took the crown and his bracelet off. Go ahead.
And we'll come, verse 11. Then David took hold on his clothes. Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword.
He loved to kill, King Saul at that time. But at the time also too, they were because of course Doeg the Edomite was reporting back to Edom of what was going on.
Right.
That's why you got how they started to sprinkle themselves in, just like what this guy's trying to do. And he saw that King Saul had an Edomite in the kingdom. So he figured, now it's a way that I can get in too. But now he sees that King Saul is dying. So now, what does his mind shift and do? It shifts on to King David. Right? He tries the same thing with King David as he was going to try with King Saul, because he sees King Saul is winning the war here.
Right.
They'll go with they'll back whoever the hell is winning. They don't have any moral code. You know what I'm saying? They've always historically been like that. Always. They'll back whoever's winning. Even if, like, say for instance, it was a war broke out between the Israelites and the Amalekites right now. Say we were smoking, right? There will be Amalekites there that'll side with us,
Right.
and start beating down their own people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the residue of them that is with us, you know how we think, oh man, those down ass white boys right there, they help us, you know what I'm saying? They helped us, mop up the other devils, and we start looking at them as loyal soldiers, and that's how they get in. You know what I'm saying? That's how the infection, one of the ways that the infection starts to get in. Next thing you know, they in positions. Because we'll give them positions faster than what we'll give niggas.
Right.
Because we so quick to try and prove how non-racist we can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We so quick to be doing that, to prove that, how non-racist, next thing you know, they have positions. You know what I'm saying? And they have power inside our establishment because we not going to do them like they do us. We inside their establishment, we get a position, you know, white people is telling us definitely what the hell to do. And they, you know, what do? They want us to persecute our own, just like you become a supervisor on a certain slavery. They only made you supervisor. So when they start laying people off, you will be there to lay off the blacks.
Right.
So that the company doesn't look racist. And every time there's a layoff, there's going to be 3 blacks per every 1 white that's laid off. And you're going to be the one to initiate that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
You know, kind of, 13. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite.
And you know what? His mama could have been an Israelite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
By him saying, I'm the son of a stranger, an Amalekite, he's only pointing out his father.
Right.
His mother could have been, not saying solidly, but she could have been something else. She could have been of one of the tribes or something, just like what they doing with us today. Who they got? They got all of these Amalekites that look like us, Lenny Kravitz, right?
Right. No,
Lenny Kravitz, those Tia and Tamara, whatever their name is, the 2 twin girls with the brother that played in the shows back then. Yeah, them. Let's see. Harry Belafonte, he's an Amalekite too. Did you know that? Yeah, he's an Amalekite. Yeah, his father's Jewish. See, and he got like 4 or 5 sons and all of that too. You know, let's see. I mean, it's a lot of them. You know. And they put them, you know, on us, and that might be the reason why he had the boldness to go up to King David like that, looking somewhat like us. But then he has to tell the truth, you know, I'm the son of an Amalekite. You know, okay, keep on going.
Okay. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed?
Now, this goes to show you that he had some familiarity with the Lord. That's why King David asked him that question. If you wasn't afraid to put your hands against the Lord's anointed, how was you not? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him.
He told him straight up, kill him.
Right.
Now, of course, we can't do stuff like that today.
Right.
But what we can say is, don't deal with him.
Right.
We're not dealing with him. And tell him to hit the road. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
I remember a time where I was with the fake Israelite group. And we planned on doing a prison, like one of the prison outreaches. And I was all for it. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm sitting there thinking it's just gonna be us. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. All right, now the day comes for us to meet. And you know, we in there and everything. All of a sudden, it's a devil that comes in. And I'm like, okay, what is this? You know? Well, he sits there as if he's some type of leader over what it is that we're going to do, talking about he has this program and everything that's supposed to work. Well, he wants us to do it up under his program. Well, who the hell are you? You know, this is something for us and our people. We don't need you. You know what I'm saying? He's up there talking about, no, this program, a way to do things is, man, you better get the hell out of my face, you know. And the pastor's there, he's on board with dude. At that time, I'm like, I'm not doing this. Because I was one of the chief dudes that they wanted to do. I'm like, I'm not doing it. That's y'all do it, y'all want to do it, that's y'all's business. I'm out.
Man, right.
And then they decided not to do it too. You know what I'm saying? So that thing was squashed. The Edomite kept it moving. He said, well, I sense that y'all not really ready for this. Y'all not ready to do this. Now we say when we goddamn ready.
Right.
What you better be ready to do is hit that goddamn door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's those we can do those things with the Amalekites and with all Edomites or whatever damn heathen it is. We can do that. We can't hew them in pieces like Samuel did, and we can't go and tell one of the troopers to fall upon him. You know what I'm saying? Like what King David did. We can't do those things. What we can do is get them the hell out of our damn,
right.
You know, whatever organization it is. You know, if they want to help us in any type of damn way, they need to be giving money to us. That's what they need to be doing, and get their hand the hell out of our goddamn business.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? They need to be, and then if they give us money, we better look at it, make sure ain't nothing no funny, nothing on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure they know some type of powder on it or something like that, you know. You mess around and get, you know what I'm saying, the damn Corona powder or something like that on it. We expect to make sure. Yeah, it's a damn anthrax, you know. We got to make sure of that. You know, but if they want to help us in any type of damn way, that's what they need to be doing, is start to give back the things that they have stole. You know, instead of running around, you know, giving a little food every now and then, you know, trying to keep us dependent upon them. That'd be like if I stole all of this from you and your family and I just give you a sandwich or something every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not empowering you.
Right.
I'm just keeping you alive. You know what I'm saying? I give you a meal, you know, every day, you know, a little bit of pocket change every now and then. I'm not empowering you to nothing, and I'm not giving you back what I've stole. But in their mind, this soothes their conscience because they look so low on us. Right. They look so low down on us that they figure anything that they give us, God got to be pleased with it. That God got to be pleased with it. With any little thing that they give us. That we should be pleased. And it helps them feel good. That's why they love these Christian pastors so much. Because the Christian pastors make them feel, especially when the Christian pastors up there at the pulpit talking about race and racism. And he's talking in favor of them. You know. And pretty much talking down upon to us. They love him because he makes them feel like they did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why they invest in him. That's part of the investment right there. Is that they invested in the soothing of their conscience. You know, just like the prostitute that goes to church. You know, she's been turning tricks all week. She go to church to feel good about, you know, in spite of what she just did that week. You know, she goes there to feel good. That's what they do. They go to feel good about how they abuse us. So now, with the clean slate that they got, what are they now empowered to do with that clean slate? Anybody know? Go ahead.
To go to church and try to repent again?
No, I wouldn't say that. What that clean slate gives them is the ability to screw you over all over again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To oppress you even more. To finance Planned Parenthood.
Right.
To oppress you, to pay you minimum wage on a job that they will pay white people 4 times as much. If that company was full of them. Right. To oppress you, this is, you know, it makes them feel like they're not doing anything wrong behind oppressing you. They invest billions in their own conscience to soothe it. Go ahead.
Yeah, because surely the bitterness of death is past.
Right. The bitterness of death is surely past.
And we get the right to vote.
Right.
And we get the right to bus.
Right.
And we get to work menial jobs.
Right.
We get low-income housing. And
Right.
we get EBT cards.
Right. Right.
We get all the drugs and all the wars we want.
Right. Right.
Yeah. No.
And look at the basketball players. Look at all the entertainers.
Okay.
See, look what y'all got. Look at the entertainers. Y'all are making millions in the NBA. Well, they make it like it's all of us, like we all benefit behind that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When it's only that little small portion that benefit anything behind that. Hell, they don't even go to their neighborhoods. Michael Jordan from Chicago, how many times he appear in Chicago?
Never.
He ain't even at his goddamn house. His house is still in Chicago. He ain't never there. You know what I'm saying? He don't have nothing to do with the people in Chicago. Louis Farrakhan, he's from Chicago too.
They hide their identity after they get famous.
So they hide their identity?
They hide their identity after they become famous. They basically get a new one and say that, hey, I ain't never lived there. Basically.
They keep their identity because they don't want to be treated like regular Negroes.
They basically leave from there and get bigger and better stuff.
Which is true. They keep their identity though. They just don't go back to where it is they from.
Right.
You know, they just don't go back to it. But they figure for what? They done outgrew that. Right? That's what they figured.
Like their biography don't even say that they're from there. They say that they're from there, but they say they ain't never lived there. It basically said that they from where they live now.
I mean, they are detached from black people.
Right.
You know? They are very, detached. Go ahead.
It's like, so you can't say that because they spend so much time in Africa.
Yeah, they are. And that's why it's so important to know that we're not Africans.
Right,
Good.
They basically what he just said. They spend so much time in Africa. They don't like their own culture.
Right. And you know what? Because if Africans, there's got to be something in them to say that we ain't African. Yeah. It has to be. Because the way that they hate niggas on the south side of Chicago,
right.
They would hate the niggas in the mud hut over in Ghana. Right? You know what I'm saying? Right. They would hate them the same. That's why that thing with IUIC, how good they treat the Africans over there and how they talk greasy and dirty about the niggas that's here. Yep. Even the ones inside their own damn congregation. Yep. Hell, they can't even goddamn get along right now. You know what I'm saying? They suddenly talking behind each other's backs and, all of that stuff and, talking about each other real bad. But, I heard the leader say something one time. He said about Africa, he was like, the people here in Africa, they work from sun up to sundown. Negroes in America sure can't do that. That's called time and a half.
Yeah, right.
Here. And niggas do it all the time. There's 12 hours, you got sunrise, and then the hand spins around the clock, and sunset. Right? That's 12 hours. We call that time and a half.
Right.
And niggas do work that outside and inside. You know what I'm saying? All the tribes do that. But you see the disdain and the hatred behind him saying that? But he put it like the Africans is doing something so amazing, right? Niggas in Brazil and stuff is doing that.
Right.
Niggas in Venezuela is doing that. Niggas in Panama is doing that. Hell, niggas in Kentucky is doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas in California is doing that.
Right.
New York, wherever you goddamn go, wherever there's time and a goddamn half, niggas is doing it.
Right.
Canada niggas is doing it. So why in the hell him being a teacher and a leader make a goddamn harebrained, statement like that? Like, that's something that we can't do. This whole damn place, this whole new world was built off of us. This whole new world was built on our backs. You ever notice something? You ever notice the places that have less black people, the countries that have less black people, are still in third world situations?
Right.
Anybody ever seen Bosnia? Anybody? Look at it for a second. The only thing that looks good is like the downtowns, because that's where all the money goes, in any place, right? And that'd be like at the capitals and stuff like that. But look at Croatia, places like that. They breaking their damn necks to get here too because of some of the poverty that is over in those countries. All these Slavic countries. They living horrible in them damn places. Nothing but concrete and mud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. They living, similar to how the Hamites is living over in them African countries. They had the least slaves. You know what I'm saying? I was watching one time I came, they was in Bosnia. And it was some type of documentary. And dude was riding down the highway, the dude that was doing the documentary. And you seen a poster of this big buff brother, big buff black dude. It was the billboard advertisement for a male strip club. And I'm like, I see how they getting they little money that they are getting. You know what I'm saying? Because Negroes boost the economy of everywhere that we go, everywhere we're at. You want to drag somebody out of a third world situation, you have them. So think about it. What's the most lucrative thing on the stock market is slaves. Rise up out of third world situations. India and Korea, they were in third world situations not long ago. Not long ago. Now look at them now. You look at their cities and stuff now.
Right.
Look at the cities of these places. Like, wow. I mean, they got cities that, that make New York City and everything look normal. Look like it's not so great. They got cities there. I mean, I'm talking about huge, huge cities. Look at Thailand, the cities and stuff over there. Look at, China. Good night. China has cities. Y'all know China has cities that they don't even use?
I have heard that before.
They have huge cities. I'm talking about cities as big as Vegas. Serious. Cities as big as Vegas. Cities as bigger than New York City. Cities like bigger than Los Angeles that they don't even use. And they have a lot of them. Go ahead.
I was going to make a joke, but I am going to be off topic. So.
They have all of that stuff. I mean, think about it. I'm talking about stuff that they built, the skyscrapers, the working escalators and everything in it. Just no people.
So pretty much an abandoned city.
Right.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there are some.
So like, is it like an abandoned city like Detroit has abandoned neighborhoods, or is it an abandoned city like it's still?
No, these are cities that look nice.
I said no,
there's just no population.
Right, no people.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
They look nice. Malls, every damn thing.
But there are some in Detroit.
Yeah. I'm talking about, they got malls there, they got every damn thing that you could possibly think of in these cities, and they're not all run down looking and none of that. So that means somebody probably going to them cities and taking care of them.
Right.
The lights work. All of that. There's just nobody in them.
That's crazy.
Right.
Well, I'll pack my bags and move.
That's what I'm saying. They need to let us have them damn cities.
Yeah, pay nothing.
Right, yeah. They need to let us have them damn cities. Yeah, we be the governing authority, you know what I'm saying? And we start to thrive, and the thing about it, they hate us so damn bad. Just like we was talking about concerning the Black Wall Street earlier. They see us thriving, they'll have to stop it. And that's one of the ways that we mess up a lot of the times too, is when we have thriving stuff, we don't have no military structure.
Yeah.
In Black Wall Street, one of the reasons we were able to be conquered over so damn quickly and so easily is because we had every damn thing but a military. You know what?
Right.
Every damn thing but a military. We had no soldiers. We didn't even have our own police department to police nobody.
Right.
We didn't even have that. So we was just left wide the hell open. With that being said, we have the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, at the commanding Gen.YAHANNA. The Feast of Purim is coming up, when?
February 25th to the 26th.
February the 25th and the 26th. Pay your tithes. Join us also in the Feast of Purim and join us in the Passover.
Right.
So, come through and see how the I.S.U.P.K rocks the Passover.
Right.
There's only one. There's only one Passover. That's what people got to understand.
That's right.
There's only one. There's not many Passovers running around. You don't see nowhere in the Bible where there's ever been many Passovers. There's only been one, and if you ain't at the one, then you ain't going to
a brother and sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 verse 21, Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashura. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Now you can pay your tithes in a couple different ways. You can go to ISUPK.com, and this is same for the priest fund. Scroll down, donate now. You can mark what you're paying for, whether it's tithes or donations, priest funds, or you can go to money sign UPK tithes on the Square Cash app. Also in Minneapolis, we have a UPK Minneapolis Square Cash app too. So feel free to kick in your funds so that we can continue the food and clothing drives that we just got done doing last weekend too. Upcoming holy convocations. So we got the Feast of Purim, like Adamar has said. Start making your travel and your lodging arrangements for the Passover coming up in April in Houston. Get in touch with the brothers on that in your zone to see how everybody's traveling, where everybody's staying, see who you can click up with, who you can ride with, and start planning this stuff now. Get ahead of it. Anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, your headband, and your scarf. And with that, we'll put Yaakov down, which means turn to face the east. We're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. What you know? Wala'a. Tabi Ya'anawa. Banisaya woman. Abal. Abashai Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Kaka. Walakwa. Wahala. Wahata Aparat. Wahata Pa'arat. Slakia. La'awalayu. Aman.
Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Yahushua. Barak Manal. Wayah Shalom. Wahab Barak. Sapal. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magan. Hagan. At this time, you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats the name once. If you're following us on Facebook or on YouTube, you can type in the name of the loved one and we will repeat that also. Israelite School UPK.
Israelite School UPK.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Benjamin. Jamie. Whitney. Anna Lee. Raphael. The McIntosh family.
All I.S.U.P.K.
All of I.S.U.P.K.
Captain Malquad. Captain what's his name?
Captain Ratazai.
Captain Ratazai.
Ardell Cook. Tiffany Cook. Todd Hall. Deanna Hall.
Captain Cornwall.
Hall.
Officer Knott. Officer Debar Mock. Officer Lamakiala. Paul. Des. Devin. Aries. Paulette. Kudasha Young. Yaparaka. Azari. Kawana. Kamara. Rapayala. All of Israel. Yahweh. Hazah. Among the bar. Captain Pash. I.S.U.K. Minneapolis. All of Israel. Nothing online so far.
House of Oxen Tribe. All destroyed of Israel.
Bashim Yahushua. Duaraman.
Forever the blessing in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. In the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. The loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Oh, shit. UPK power structure. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. Name Yahushua. Listen to us now. Right now. Say evils and curses. Punishment, destruction. To the heathen. To speak against us. Thy prophets. Teachers. Princes. Priests. Israelite brothers. And the school. Saying evils and curses. And punishment, destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches into thy sanctuary. And evils and curses and punishment, destruction to the Edomites and the nation and their drug dealers, court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, and try to stop us, broadcasting your word throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief.
The house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
The Yahushua.
The Yahushua.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathen.
Punish all the heathen.
That come up against
That
us.
come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it be known.
Cause it be known.
By all.
By all.
That is the angels that have done
It's
it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be
Through
spread.
the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of
In the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always.
Always.
So be it.
So be it.
So. Men of Israel. Mother Shabbat. Kamadu. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatama.
Yasmata. Courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel. Mother Shabbat. Kamadu. Barak.